More than 8 million pupils have joined the school benches across the nation. Economy and trade are in the process of being restored in the southern province of Ghardaia. The Greens of Algeria beat Lesotho by 3 goals to 1 as part of the African Cup of Nations. Those were today's top stories. Thank you for joining us live on Dzair News. A new high school is inaugurated today, coinciding with the school comeback by the governor of the capital Algiers, Dzair, who said that this new school year benefited from a lot of incentive measures to make the students feel at ease and study in the best possible conditions. More details in the following report by Lamia Shush.
This year's school comeback has witnessed an unusual calm, as wished and planned for by the educational sector officials. The kickoff was with the presence of the governor of the capital Algiers, Dzair, from the new high school Mohammed Lebjawi in Bab Zawar municipality, eastern Algiers. We are undertaking exceptional measures. We have transformed several shops into a high school because the pupils of this high school used to use an elementary school with 62 pupils per class. The totality of the pupils will benefit from the school canteen.
يستفادوا من المطاعم الدراسيه. حنا دوكا ديجا ماني حنا بريمي طروجا ماني انا في هذا المسيد. هاد الثانويه جديده مليحه.
I like this new school because it is closer to my house. We used to be 40 students per class. Now the number decreased, which will help us study.
ما يكونش الضغط.
Pursuing one's studies in such a way has a lot of positive sides, which may help students study and assimilate their lessons in the best of conditions.
كل التجهيزات موجودة والمتواجدين حنا حاليا عندنا السنوات الأولى والثانية.
All the procedures are undertaken. We have started with the freshmen and sophomores, and then we will receive the seniors. One class will not hold more than 20 students now. There will be more communication between teachers and students. Solidarity in all its meanings is the title of the first lesson in the first day of school, as students learn the noble principles of brotherhood and togetherness in all the different circumstances. The first lesson in our new high school is about solidarity and brotherhood between societies and countries. We must increase this solidarity. We talked about Algeria's solidarity with Palestine, Syria, and the Western Sahara. Educational sector officials are working hard to provide all the human and material resources to both teachers and students to ensure a successful school year, away from the usual disturbances.
In the same context, around 1.5 million students have joined university benches for the new academic year 2015-2016, according to the statistics issued by the ministry concerned. The number of students who joined the benches increased by 20% in comparison with the previous year. To this fact, the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Dzair, affirmed that due to the increasing number of registered students, university campuses are now packed. As you know, today is the first day of the new school year 2015-2016, and the National Education Minister Nouri Ben Ghabrit has announced a set of reform procedures to modernize Algerian schools, especially elementary ones, which have, through the years, received a lot of backlash and criticism, saying that the pupils are not qualified to advance to the next educational stages. Lamia Shush has the details.
New procedures have been undertaken this season to improve and reform Algeria's educational system, according to what the Minister of National Education, Nouri Ben Ghabrit, revealed. The new reforms will be introduced to Algerian schools starting from elementary schools, which, after 13 straight years of constant reforms, still face a lot of criticism, with elementary schools children arguably not being as ready for the next educational stages as they should be. Priority will be given during the school year 2015-2016 to the pedagogical dimension, especially in the elementary school phase. According to my views, we should reconsider the in-class practices, which are the basis of all success. In this context, the ministry has put in place follow-up mechanisms. Minister Ben Ghabrit, and during her inauguration of the new school year, has renewed her invitation to both school teachers and educational unions to ensure a stable school year, free of the strikes and protests that characterize each year. We rely on you to achieve the desired leap and wanted stability. So, I call on you to help us achieve this, to build a modern school, which is not restricted to teaching skills, but also teaching ethics and principles, as well as patriotism. And awaiting the concretization of these goals, creating a quality Algerian school cannot be achieved until a final solution is agreed upon once and for all, to put an end to the many problems and internal conflicts within the educational sector in Algeria.
To another matter now. The governor of Algiers, Mr. Abdelkader Zouk, stated that a new rehousing operation will take place in the upcoming days, concerning around 1,000 families in Al Ramli neighborhood, while stating that other similar operations will follow through. Let's take a listen.
The committee in charge of relocating families has started the process of finalizing the next rehousing operation. We will relocate them in areas where basic infrastructures are established.
In the same context, accommodation selection process for adult subscribers continues for the second day at the headquarters of the housing agency, amid concerns over the unprecedented shutdown of the main website on the internet without any notice. Osama Snoussi compiled these facts on the matter.
For the second day, the accommodation selection operation for AADL subscribers continues amid some problems with the secret number, in addition to the continuous pressure at the headquarters of AADL agency.
Instead of telling us how to select on the internet, they told us all to come on the 5th. They didn't think about these people. They are people who are unaware of it, so of course they would have problems.
A complete absence for communication means with subscribers who got sick of standing in endless queues, leaving their daily concerns hoping to find a way to understand the process, notably those who are not familiar with new technologies like the internet.
Well, there are people who live far away, some have other concerns and other things to do, but they keep going back and forth to the housing agency. It's the housing agency which created problems for people.
So the second day of the accommodation selection process for AADL subscribers 2001-2002 witnesses a bad management from the authorities and a massive growth by the subscribers.
Economy and trade are in the process of being restored in the southern province of Ghardaia, thanks to the tremendous efforts and supervision of national military forces. Traders of the city are looking forward to bouncing back again after the recent unfortunate events that beset the southern city.
After the reconstruction of houses and neighborhoods, the southern province of Ghardaia witnesses an economic restoration, where lots of trade shops were reopened under military supervision, and the local authorities provided all the means to ensure a long-standing economic comeback to the oppressed province.
We appreciate this serious operation that aims at bringing back a calm environment. The traders work alongside with the military authorities, so we call on all citizens to unite and help in this operation. We welcome the comeback and we encourage it for both parties because the market is the hub of economy.
Trade and commerce have been restored in Mzab Valley capital after the tragic strife that hit the region, and the province lives a new beginning today under the slogan of reconstruction for the future. The new comeback was accompanied with a number of demands by traders, such as a comprehensive tax amnesty for a 5 to 10 years period.
Our demands are to compensate what traders have lost and a comprehensive tax amnesty for 10 years. We also want insurance against rioting. We have big taxations who would like to get a 5-year tax amnesty. Without this amnesty, we can't rebuild ourselves easily, for there are people who lost lots of billions.
The hope of restoring economy in a region that was known of an economic lead for decades depends on the government's interference through a series of fiscal procedures after it succeeded in ensuring security that would pave the way to a massive economic comeback in the region.
Still with our economy-linked news. Algeria plans to hike natural gas output by 30% by the year 2019, according to the Ministry of Energy, to reverse a recorded slump in energy production in recent years that has hit the country's export earnings and spending policy. More details on the matter with Mohammed Barswan.
Investment to increase its gas output was estimated at $40 billion, it said in the latest edition of its in-house magazine Algeria Energy. The article, however, gave few details on how, where it would hike output. Natural gas production will increase by over 13% by 2019 to meet domestic demand and increase exports, the Energy Ministry said in the article. An OPEC member and a major gas supplier to Europe, Algeria relies heavily on energy revenues, which make up 60% of its budget and account for 95% of its exports. To this effect, Prime Minister Malik Salel said the government will cut spending by 9% in 2016 due to a decline in earnings after the drop in global crude oil prices. Earnings from oil and gas exports are expected to fall 50% to $34 billion this year. The government earlier said this month oil and gas export volumes dropped 8.9% in the first quarter of 2015. That followed a report by the country's National Statistics Office that oil and gas production has been plummeting since 2014. National energy firm Sonatrach had said it would stick to a $90 billion 5-year investment plan, despite the recent stiff decline in crude prices. But it has yet to give details of a new energy bidding round to try to draw in potential foreign oil investors in the major hydrocarbon sector.
To another story now. According to a statement from the Ministry of National Defense, a hideout containing 17 homemade bombs and a sizable load of weapons was destroyed by detachments of the National People's Army near the Tajmot area on the borders between the provinces of Ain Difla and Tipaza, west of Algiers.
As part of the relentless fight against terrorism and during a search and calming operation near the Tajmut area on the borders between the western provinces of Ain Difla and Tipaza, 1st Military Region, a detachment of the ANP discovered and destroyed on September 4, 2015, a cache containing 17 homemade bombs, weapons, documents, foodstuffs, cell phones and other items, said the same source. Furthermore, and as part of border security strengthening and the flagrant struggle against smuggling and organized crime, an ANP detachment under the Southern Operational Sector of Borj-Bashi Mukhtar, 6th Military Region, thwarted an attempt of smuggling of over 15 tons of staple commodities and 800 liters of fuel loaded onto 2 trucks in the latest of a series of successful anti-smuggling operations conducted in the border regions, according to the MDN statement.
Algeria, Niger and Chad called Sunday in Algiers for an urgent political solution to the crisis in Libya through the formation of a national unity government. The call was made at the end of the tripartite meeting, which brought together Minister of Maghreb Affairs, African Union and the Arab League, Abdelkader Moussahel, Niger's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Cooperation, African Integration and Niger's Community Abroad, Kain Aishatu Boulama, and Chad's Minister of Foreign Affairs and African Integration, Moussa Faki Mohammed. In a joint statement issued at the end of the meeting, the three foreign ministers reiterated the urgent need for a political solution that preserves the unity and the territorial integrity of Libya and the cohesion of its people through the formation of a national unity government which will be in a position to meet the various challenges facing the country with the top help of international community. In world news, ministers and diplomats from 57 countries gathered in Paris Sunday, September the 6th to discuss the make-or-break issue of finance in a climate rescue deal to be sealed in the French capital in December. The two-day huddle of foreign and environment ministers and senior officials is not part of official negotiations for the highly anticipated agreement, but is meant to inject political momentum into the fraud UN process. French Foreign Affairs Minister Laurent Fabius, who will preside over the year-end conference, told colleagues that they have less than 3 months before the Paris meeting in December. Quote, "We should take full advantage of each time that we meet. The success of Paris will be built ahead of time. We cannot expect some sort of miraculous solution to appear during the final hours of the Paris conference in December." In the migrant crisis file, around 70 refugees and migrants, mainly from Syria and Iraq, arrived in Frankfurt early on Sunday morning. The train they were traveling on pulled into the station to a rapturous applause from locals who had gathered on the platform holding balloons and banners reading, quote, "Welcome to Frankfurt." However, not all welcomers will be staying in Frankfurt. Some were redirected onto other trains to be transferred to shelters and camps across the country. Thousands of asylum seekers have now reached Germany and Austria after a huge push by authorities to transport them out of Hungary, where they had been stuck for days. Way back to Algeria now. It is the second biggest cave in the world, discovered by the Amazigh 2 centuries ago. Located in Algeria's far west in the province of Tlemcen, Ouled Benaniad Cave is today one of nature's most mesmerizing museums, much to the delight of a large turnout of nature-loving tourists. Hinsman Rast has the details.
A natural heritage intertwining the wow factor with amazement. This cave was ranked the second largest cave after the Mexican cave, Ouled Benaniad Under-Earth Cave, 17 kilometers away from the province of Tlemcen. Legend has it that Amazigh tribes were the first to discover this underworld wonder.
The Ouled Benaniad Cave in the municipality of Ain Fezza in the western province of Tlemcen was discovered 2 centuries before Christ by the Amazigh tribes, who were the first people to settle in North Africa. Algeria precisely where they lived inside these caves. The cave is 700 meters long and 75 meters deep. As per the temperature, it's stable at 13 degrees Celsius either in winter or summer.
Enchanting sculptures interweaving an upside-down forest, a desert, Arabian swords, cactus forest, the Statue of Liberty, the Romanian soldier, the head of Socrates, in addition to this tiered cake. Views and oddities that lure the hearts of every visitor, who falls into a state of a peaceful meditation amid a relieving calm. Algeria has the most amazing views. I wish Algerians would come to discover these landscapes instead of going abroad, even though our country has a lack of tourism. The cave shuts down in the middle of the day to regenerate the oxygen necessary to its growth. Views that portray the splendor of our Creator deep under the earth.
And finally, in sports news at the continental level, the Algeria football squad left it late, beat Lesotho by 3-1 in the Group J 2017 African Cup of Nations qualifier at Setso Stadium in Missouri on Sunday afternoon. Striker Hilal Zoulani's late brace spared Christian Gourcuff's team what would have been a surprise stalemate. The Algerian forward struck in the 85th and 91st minutes as the Greens of Algeria powered to victory over their plucky Lesotho host. Algeria claimed the lead in the first half when Fawzi Ghulam netted in the 32nd minute, but the Greens' advantage was soon erased by an equalizer from Relakoti Mokai Lane. The match remained at 1-1 for almost the entire second half until Soudani's late goal took the Algerian players to victory. It was the Greens' second successive win to see them top of Group J, having kicked off their qualifiers with an easy 4-0 win over the Seychelles back in June in Blida Stadium. The other Group J match this weekend saw the Seychelles and Ethiopia draw 1-1 in Victoria Stadium on Saturday. The next round of fixtures is in March next year, which will see the Seychelles host Lesotho, while Algeria will welcome Ethiopia. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of our news brought to you live from Dzair. Thank you for joining us live.